All right, let's listen to this video and we'll discuss.
This is the fifth media parley of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, and as expected, is using the opportunity to address several issues concerning the FCT governance, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, and the developments in Rivers State.
If I have my way, I say it's here. It's an altar of God. I don't wish going back there. My spirit has left that place long ago.
Just days after the suspended governor of Rivers State, Mr. FUBARA, had ruled out desperation for power as motive for pursuing peace with his predecessor. Mr. Wike states position on the reconciliation move.
Yes, he came. He came with two governors and one other person. Unfortunately, the two governors are APC governors, unfortunately. So I will not pursue him. And he said, he wants peace. Fine. I want peace. Right? What that means that there's an open door, an open window for you.
I'm curious, why is it that they never finished their sentence? They said one peace. Fine. Anyway, let me read this report on Premium Times. It says, I don't wish to return as Rivers governor. That's FUBARA. The suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, said he would not wish to return to office if he had his way, stressing that he now looks better than when he was in office. He said this on Sunday during the service of songs held in honor of the late elder statesman Edwin Clark in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu on 18th March declared a state of emergency in Rivers and suspended Mr. Fubara, his deputy and the state lawmaker, for an initial period of 6 months. Mr. Tinubu said he took the decision due to the prolonged political crisis in the state triggered. You know, in other news, obviously, we've been covering this for a while. I think Tinubu has come to basically express that I think, who said it? Was it Wike or President Tinubu who said they did it to protect FUBARA? Anyway, what do you have to say about this, Monsa?
Thank you very much. See, I listened to some comments earlier today, the reaction to what Governor Fubara said in Port Harcourt yesterday. That is, when he said his spirit as since he's no longer excited about the possibility of coming back to government house in Port Harcourt, and then the possibility of continuing as the governor of the state. People do not look at the transience of power in that statement. I listened to. I have to say this. I'm really sorry, but I really have to mention this. Somebody who operates as an ideologue for the ruling party in Nigeria, masquerading and masking to be a thoroughbred journalist who insults every other journalist as if he is the only person that is really trained as a journalist, or is the only person that has done daring things. When we practiced when we practiced journalism in Abuja in those days and all over Nigeria, there were things we did that you would not even believe. And so for somebody to continue to tongue lash contemporaries and colleagues as if they are not really properly trained as professionals, that I cannot really relate with, because that individual this morning was almost questioning that kind of utterance from Mr. Fubara as quote unquote political naivety. I do not look at it as such. And all of us, you see, we proclaim.
You don't want to mention the name of the person?
Yeah, well, I do not. You know me. It's not as if I'm scared of anybody. It's a Babajide Kolade Otoju of TVC. You know, this is somebody, yeah, who disclosed in the past that he teaches a Sunday school in the local church where he attends. So if somebody looks at all the troubles of the office he holds and he feels like, no, it's not worth all these troubles, and I really don't want to go back into that office and what have you, and then you look at it as, oh, politically naive. That's not right. That's not right. I mean,
so he's saying FUBARA is politically naive.
Yeah, that I mean that is practically naive, and that therefore means that for him to, I mean, he doesn't look at it as somebody almost saying that he really cannot fight, hold his ground. When this guy holds his ground, you people mock him.
Right.
When he holds his ground, you mock him.
Sorry,
whatever he does.
I'm so sorry to interject your train of thought, sir.
Yes.
I'm not really a fan of this man, this Babajide man. I've listened a few times. So, but besides that, quite a few people in Nigeria hold that same belief, including the likes of Aisha Yusufu, including even very dark man. Before he was ousted or suspended, a lot of people felt like he was moving like a coward. What do you have to say to that?
Well, even when he sounded strong and said he was not intimidated by anybody, that the youth should comport themselves and that they should wait for certain signal, quote and unquote. I do not know the intention behind such statement, but people would think that the gentility of such individuals, such personalities, could be misinterpreted for stupidity or cowardice. It is not true all the time. For example, I know that a lot of people may look at someone like me from my father, oh, he lost power and all this. And people who are close to me like you, you know that things like that really don't freak me out. I can easily let go of anything because of my spirituality. Nobody knows whether FUBARA has that kind of deep spirituality that is bigger, that is, I mean, stronger than all this hypocritical religiosity. So
performative expression of power.
That is it. All of them want to go to heaven, but they don't ever want to die. Jesus says this, Muhammad said that. But when it comes to practical standard, none of them is ever humble enough to admit that, okay, all these issues are not really worth the trouble. Let me just be. Okay, for example, FUBARA, they pressed the hard on it. I must give it to those journalists who appeared on this early morning chat with Nyesom Wike. There were times they pushed hard on him, like some of them telling him, so why are you destroying PDP? And all the things they asked him, they took him to where no one ever dared in the past. And I saw how he struggled to do justice to some of the topics. But Wike was the one who disclosed that, yes, it is true, FUBARA came, because some of them had even ridiculed him that, oh, FUBARA went to him, he was prostrating and all that. Right. In age, he's older than him. He is older than FUBARA. He paved the way for FUBARA to come into that office. The other thing is that maybe because of the office he holds, for example, it is not a traditional title. In traditional title, they tell us, once you are holding this title now, you cannot prostrate for any mortal anymore in life.
Yeah, but he might as well prostrate, don't you think? If he's going to go there, what did he go there to do?
That is where I'm going to. So if I see my elder brother, your dad, who happens to be a major patriarch of the Abitogun household today, they say, so is anybody going to arrest me if I prostrate for him?
I mean, if you're political adversaries, and
no, we won't even be political adversaries. The point is when it is about standing up for the what's it called, the office I hold, so that nobody sees it as being subservient to that of another principality anywhere, yes, I may not do that. But to somebody that I've always seen as my elder, as my leader, as somebody who paved the way for me, if I decide to be humble and then prostrate, why did they come out to caricature it as if, oh, this guy is just a wimp? It is not true. All of them are saying, the point I'm making is that all of them are saying there must be peace there. When it does not make a move to guarantee peace or to usher in peace, they criticize him. When he does, it becomes an object of ridicule. Why are our people like this? Anyway, you know, as they say, everybody has to feed on something, get some content out of this, and then profiteer, so to say.
So you think people are instigating?
They're just knocking their head against each other, which is not right. Even in this, they have really given, what's it called, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a bad baggage, a kind of a liability, political liability, because this shouldn't have given rise to a situation of a state of emergency in a river state. But look at the way they pushed him. That is a major mistake. And the way they continue to kiss up to the system, almost zestful about it, declaring that, oh, where would they go? Supreme Court has said this, Supreme Court has said that. But they know what is behind all these things. I do not really want to be part of that crowd that would want to rubbish the institutions that Nigeria has. But let it be said, when most of these political gladiators are alone and they search their conscience, they know that they are not being sincere with themselves and with the God who created all of us. For example, Wike plays to the gallery too much. He accuses people of being arrogant and responsible for everything. He's not owning up to his speech mannerism, the cadence, the tone. Don't you see him as an embodiment of pride? All those things he says as if everything is working for him. It is because of his magic. Without the Nigerian presidency and power of incumbency backing him up, Wike is nobody to challenge a governor like that in Nigeria. And if this guy says, oh, what's it called? The coercive power of the state that should assert its authority by way of force. You know, the dynamics of politics, a strong approach to politics here would say that if the institution of state is backing FUBARA up, Wike is nobody. It's just propped up for all this drama and theatrics because of the influence of the Nigerian presidency. You know, that institution is very strong, and whoever is against it automatically can smell some loss. But if you can kiss up to the Nigerian imperial presidency, then it will look like, oh, you are getting away with so many things. You look at the utterances of Wike this morning, the way he was talking with descending demeanor on the people he described as so-called elders and all kinds of people. The only thing that came out of it that is positive, let me say this, is the appraisal he did on the First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, because, you know, like I just complained here, they will say senator, this and that. But she handed it, she was elected a senator, she's distinguished in that, but now she's the First Lady of Nigeria. That is the one we must focus on. And the humility that, honestly, I was shocked that Wike would describe anybody as being humble and would appreciate the humility in people. Because FUBARA that comes around him as a humble man is often parodied as a weakling, as a coward. But in this case, he really applauded, gave standing ovations to Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu for interventions, never coming to him to ask for financial favors, contracts, but making strategic interventions on behalf of the Nigerian state and the success of the government of the day, like rebuilding of the city gate, paving, what's it called? The precincts of the Aso Rock presidential villa and adjoining streets with good asphalt resurfacing and all those things. So we applaud them, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, for that. But for other things, honestly, Wike should be humble. And good luck to the governors of PDP that are trying to reinvent and reconstitute the board of trustees.
I mean, we're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to talk about that in a second here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. From everything I've seen thus far, I don't think Wike would install. You notice the language I'm using. Install a weak FUBARA. I just don't think he would have done that in the first place. I think all of this is coming to light because there might be a comparison between their mannerisms. Clearly, one person is a gentleman, the other one is a rugged man. So
the other one is a roughneck and extremely abrasive, and that is wicked.
So you cannot compare. I don't think it's accurate to compare on the surface level if one person is weak or not at that surface level. But let me know. Let us know what your thoughts are about this. Do you think FUBARA is weak? Because, like I said, I think Aisha Yusuf, who many people respect as an activist, blah blah, she's obedient, all this kind of stuff, and very dark man. Some of your newest activists out there, they think this guy should step up.
And by the way, I don't know if we are going to be able to touch on this. Did you hear the views expressed about Atado Peterside, the big guy at this a big bank in Nigeria, Stanbic IBTC, the founder, and who happens to run an opinion poll agency. And I think Peterside has to respond to some of the allegations that came, because virtually Wike was
Peterside.
That is Atado Peterside, the owner of Stanbic IBTC. Remember, he has a polling agency, a polling company that ran a poll ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, almost awarding laurel of victory to Mr. Peter Obi of Labour Party. So Wike disclosed this morning during this media chat that Atado Peterside had approached him initially to support Peter Obi, and that he never told Nigerians that he had sympathy for Peter Obi. And so at the end of the day, he virtually was accusing him of perpetrating fraud in the name of opinion poll. That is serious. And I want Peterside Atado to really respond to that. We need to know, is this the way people just cook up stuff or reportage, ascribing things to sources that are non-existent in the name of the permissible rule of anonymity? Whatever this is about, everybody's got to come out clean. But, Wike fights steady. There is no limit. Even those of us that are visually challenged do not throw sticks the way Wike would hit anything in sight with whatever object he holds.
We're going to leave Wike to the commenters to comment on that because we're over time. Let's move on.
Thank you.
No problem. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. We're coming right back with some other trendy stories around the world. We'll be right back.